it's Min Ling from Brand Fame School. I'm super excited to be here today with you for my branding tip of the day. Who's excited? If you're excited, go ahead and comment below. Would love to hear from you. I'm coming to you live from both Periscope and Facebook Live, so you can catch it at either place. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Min Ling. I'm a branding strategist and coach, and I help my clients create their own IT brand so they can build buzz and get known for what they're good at. And I'm super excited to be here to share today's topic on don't be a follower unless you want to buzzkill your brand. So, I see so many entrepreneurs that are out there that are following trends. So they see something that works for somebody else and they're like, oh, I should do that too. Or they see a message that works for somebody else and they're like, oh, I should create that message too. So I want to talk about this topic about why it's actually a buzzkill for your brand. So when you follow trends, it means that you are a follower and not a leader. It doesn't position yourself as an expert in your industry. So automatically, it's a buzzkill for your brand, because if you're not positioning yourself as a leader in your industry, you'll be known as what I like to call a Me Too brand. You'll be like everyone else that's out there, and there's no differentiating factor between you and the person that you're following. So if there are people that you want to take inspiration from, if there are, trends that you want to follow because you think it works, I'm here to tell you that you got to try something else. You can't be a follower. You have to stand out in the market, and the only way to stand out is if you say something different. Now, here's what I mean. I had a couple clients that came to me when, they were first starting out in business. And they were like, oh, I want to help millennials build their own businesses. Well, how many coaches out there want to help people build businesses? You're not saying anything different, right? It's kind of like, I just want to shake people and say, you're not saying anything different. How are they going to choose you over somebody else that has been in business for longer than you, right? You're not saying anything different that would warrant somebody to have a conversation with you, to want to work with you. Because if you're just saying that you want to help millennials build businesses, you're not different. There's nothing about you that makes you special. You're just doing it because you think you will get successful or be successful because other people are successful. And that's like the wrong mindset to have when you go in business. You don't want to follow people and just do things because they were successful. That's actually the faster road to failure, because there's a lot of different factors in their success. It's not just the way that they're saying it, or it's just not that phrase that they're using to attract people, right? And so instead, you want to look at what makes you special and different. What's your unique value proposition? What do you offer that's completely different than everyone else that's out there? When you're able to find this and you're really able to own it, that's when you become the expert, and that's when people start coming to you. Because nobody wants to follow a Me Too product. Just think about it, right? If you just look at brands in the marketplace right now, do you want to, go to a Nike, or do you want to go to like a no-name brand that is trying to be like Nike? Do you want an Apple like computer or iPhone, or do you want like another brand that's copying Apple? If you think about it, people gravitate towards leaders. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, leaders own mind share. When you build a brand, it's less about the logos, the graphics, the website. It's more about how you are perceived by the other person that is looking at your brand. So the brand doesn't live in your logo, graphic, or website. It lives in the perception of your brand and everything that you do by the consumer. And so if you are following and you are not leading the conversation, if you're not doing anything differently, then you're going to be a Me Too brand, and that's how you're going to be branded, right? People are going to see you as a Me Too brand, and already that puts you at a disadvantage. Then people will think, well, if she's like everybody else and saying like what everybody else is saying, why should I pay more? Why should I pay premium prices if I'm gonna get the same thing or not as good of a thing as everyone else that's out there already? So if you are struggling with, premium pricing, if you're struggling with getting seen, getting known, it might be because you are trying to follow what everybody else is doing. Another example, and this is something that I've kind of come to realize in terms of the way that I market myself and the way that I show up. I actually no longer really like posting in Facebook groups. It doesn't sit right with me. And the reason why is because everybody's doing it. Everybody's saying the same stuff. You're not going to be different. There's so many Facebook groups out there. There's so many people talking in Facebook groups. There's so many promotions. There's so many things. It's hard to cut through that noise. Why do I want to enter a space where people are already crowded, right? I want to find a new space. Oh, hi, Cheryl. I'm super excited you're here live on live stream. So is this making any sense? The reason why I don't like to do Facebook groups, like I said, I don't like to follow the trend of you have to post 3 times a week, you have to post like a vulnerability post, you have to post, it's all formulaic. You don't want to be formulaic in your business, because when you're formulaic, then it's kind of like you're following somebody else. You got to think about, okay, how can I present my stuff differently? How can I share what I'm going to share differently? Like these Facebook Lives and Scopes, I'm not talking about these tactics that you have to do, you have to post 3 times, you have to go pick 3 groups, you have to engage. No, I'm here to tell you that you need to figure out what your unique proposition is, what value you bring, and then just own it and just share it. Cheryl says she wanted to use Facebook to market her products. Yeah, you can use Facebook to market your products, right? But what I'm saying is don't just post to post for posting's sake. What I'm sick and tired of seeing is people posting for posting's sake. They're like, okay, I need to hit 3 groups, so I'm going to post and put my information in and then leave. I really hate that method. It just doesn't sit well with me, right? And so if you want to use Facebook, there are ways to do that. You can do live stream and have, ads running to live stream. You can do so many different things that puts yourself as a leader and positions yourself as a leader, so you don't have to just keep on posting groups and saying, buy my stuff, right? There's many different ways to do it and promote yourself on Facebook without being just posting for posting's sake. You want to get creative. You want to think about, let me go back. Yesterday, I talked about how controversy is good for your brand. You might want to watch that scope if you missed it, so check it out. Because what you really want to do and what good marketing does is create conversation. So instead of just posting for posting's sake, think about what conversations you want to create around your brand, around your message, around your products. When you're able to create that conversation, create a little bit of controversy, people start to talk about your brand. People start to get to know your brand and notice you because you're doing something different than everyone else that is out there. Let me know if this is making sense by either, pressing the like button, commenting, pressing hearts if you're on Periscope. Just let me know if this is making sense. When you are able to create that conversation, that is when you become the leader, because you're leading the conversation. You're not just attaching yourself to a conversation, you're leading it. For example, in my own business, I tell people all the time, forget about your websites. Logos, graphics, and websites are not your brand. I don't know how many times I can say it, but it's controversial because people are like, but but that's what people see. I have to have a good website. No, you don't necessarily have to have a great website to have a solid brand. I know coaches that have like really crappy websites that are making it. It's because they are saying things that resonate with people. And when you're able to resonate with people on a deeper level and you're able to show the value proposition that you bring, a new angle that they didn't think of, that's when they want to talk to you. That's when they want to buy your products or services. I'll use like just an everyday example, just in the market. One of my favorite brands that are out there, and I know I share that all the time. One of my favorite brands is Tom's. Tom's changed the game. If you're not familiar with who they are, they basically are a company that they started out selling shoes, and then instead of like just holding on to the profits, they gave a pair of shoes to a child in need in another country. And so they started this social giving movement, and it really blew it out. And they're starting the conversation of what is good consumerism, what is like good spending, and people like who believe in giving back like that conversation, like what they're doing. And that's why I love their brand, because their brand is all about giving. Their brand is not about like, just selling another pair of shoes. It's all about giving. And then other people have tried to copy. Skechers is a great example. Skechers created something called the Bobs. It's another shoe that looks almost exactly like Tom's. And they also, give shoes away. But because they're following a trend and not really owning their own message, they're seen as a follower, and like it actually cheapens their brand, to be quite frank. I will never be caught dead in a Bob's shoe. I love Tom's. I love giving back. I would never be caught dead in Tom's shoes or in a Bob's shoes. I love Tom's shoes. Never be caught in Bob's shoes because I don't believe in like their mission. I don't believe that they're doing it for the right reasons. I believe they're trying to make a quick buck, and they're just trying to follow a trend because it works for somebody else. So already in my mind, it cheapens their brand. It lowers their brand positioning in my mind. So I'm going to move this real quick so I can read Cheryl's comments real quick on Facebook Live. She says she noticed that one of her professors is selling the same things she's selling. He gave examples to her fellow students, and she wanted to do the same, but I don't want to feel tension between him and I. Let me see. What should you do? Well, you need to figure out what makes your product or service different than his. So if it's fine if you are selling similar things, think about another way in. What other message can you create? Think about it that way. It's not about the product per se. Everybody has similar products. It's the way that you spin it, you say it, and you find what your unique value proposition is and how it can uniquely benefit your ideal clients. So start to think about it differently. Don't think about it just as a product, but how can you spin it? For example, I was selling lean cuisines, right? Back in the day when I was in corporate, I was a corporate branding and marketing for lean cuisine. There's a lot of Me Too products out there that's like black tray, how many varieties can you have in a black tray, right? So what we did is we found a new type of method for eating for our customers that was different in the market. And, we had to figure out another way in. So what we created were these steam bags. Basically, they steamed fresh in the microwave, and then you pour it on a plate, and it made for a better dinner time experience. It wasn't a Me Too brand because of the way that we positioned it. It wasn't just another product, right? It wasn't just more food, more frozen food. It was the experience that people would get by eating it on a plate for dinner time that was different than all the other black trays that are out there. So it wasn't the product itself. It was the way that we positioned the product in the consumer's mind that created that brand recognition for that product, and actually won Product of the Year. So that's how we did it. So, and actually, funny enough, Kashi actually copied us after we launched because it was so successful. But I don't think theirs took off because they didn't know how to position it correctly, right? They were a Me Too. They were copying us. So anyways, I'm off on a tangent, but hopefully this makes sense. You really got to become a leader. if you're not a leader and you just are following what everybody else is doing, your brand is not going to get very far. If you're struggling with this and how to be a leader, then you definitely want to sign up for my free training call tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is all about branding yourself as a go-to expert. So if you want to be a leader, and want to be an expert in your industry so you can build your brand reputation up and positioning up, then better be on that call. It's Thursday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. You can go to brandfameschool.com/experts to expert, not with an S, expert, to sign up. Brandfameschool.com/expert, and I'm going to walk you through how I went from like an online nobody to somebody that like 6-figure, 7-figure earners are coming to me to brand. I've been featured on many different people's courses as a branding expert. I get, clients being referred to me. So I'm going to walk you through how I did it and how I positioned myself as an expert, and how you can do the same thing. So be sure to go to brandfameschool.com/expert to go ahead and sign up for that. But again, if you are a follower, if you're a Me Too brand, you're not going to get very far. So don't follow the trends because it's working. You got to find another way in. You got to figure out how you can be a leader so that people will want to follow you. Otherwise, they're going to compare you to somebody else and say, okay, what's the difference? Why should I buy from you? So if you're stuck in that point, definitely sign up for the free training tomorrow. It's brandfameschool.com/expert. And Cheryl, go to brandfameschool.com/expert. I'll post the link. Actually, I'll post the link on Facebook Live, not Facebook Live, but the little post on Facebook, so you'll see and I'll tag you. And go ahead and sign up, and we'll talk about how to brand yourself as the go-to expert in your industry. So thank you guys so much. I'll be back tomorrow with also a scope, and then also I'll be back in the afternoon to go ahead and teach you that free training call about how to become the go-to expert or brand yourself as a go-to expert in your industry. So hopefully you liked it. If you liked it, please feel free to like, share, forward, whatever platform you're using, if you're on Periscope or Facebook Live. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. Anyways, I think that's it. Okay, bye everyone.